Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by my lovely blue and purple-haired co-host, Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you? I upped my color this
You
weekend.
upped your color. I did notice it looked a lot more vibrant than usual.
Yes,
and I was really happy to see that I didn't see teal in there because teal means Brie's angry or not well.
Dysregulated. Yeah, my feelings are chaotic, but I did put a little bit of teal in, but I was trying to get the blue is what I was doing.
Oh, I see the blue now.
See, Brie is like a armchair color person.
Yeah.
I'll only do the tips.
So wait, so if you have a little bit of teal, does it mean you're a little bit chaotic and not all chaotic?
Maybe. I'll be honest with you. We're recording this like just after Easter, and I was thinking more Easter eggs.
Oh.
I'll be honest.
Okay. Easter eggs are good.
I was like, let's be like multicolored.
Easter eggs are happy and good for sure. Yeah. And you mentioned dysregulated, which is what we're talking about today, about helping your kids not when they're dysregulated.
Right. That was not my intention to be a segue, but it actually was the first word that came to mind, and probably because that's what we're talking about today.
Because it's hard. A lot of us see when kids have rude behavior, when they have temper tantrums, when they're just plain mean to everybody.
Teenagers.
A lot of us want to respond with like discipline or punishment. Like, oh my gosh, how dare you talk to me that way? I am going to take away your phone for the next year.
Oh yeah. And that always works out so well, doesn't it? Like, I mean, even if I would say that most parents would tell you that doesn't work out so great. It's not that they don't listen, because a lot of times they do end up listening, but what ends up being the casualty of it? Your relationship with your kids. Mm-hmm. They get very upset and things don't end up. I've got actually a great example of that I'll share later in the show.
And I would say it's even more than your relationship with your kids. And that's a big part of it. But also it's the part that, like, by not acknowledging the emotions and not helping them through that emotional state, they learn to kind of shove it down.
Yep.
And not deal with it.
Not healthy. Not healthy.
And it's not healthy. And it causes a lot of issues down the road, because, I mean, if you're listening right now, you could probably like relate. Do you shove down your emotions and then do they all of a sudden explode everywhere? Or do you not feel okay having your emotions? I know that's a real big problem for me. I have a real hard problem like showing anger or telling people I'm upset with something.
I think that's the one that's really hard. I mean, a lot of us are okay with our happy feelings.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
A lot of us are okay with our happy feelings. There are, some cases where you're like, ooh, I don't want to be too happy. But I mean, I think that most people are okay with that. But when you get to those feelings that are difficult,
yes,
they make you kind of feel icky.
The angry, the sad, even
right?
Tired's
Jealous.
okay. Tired's okay because in our culture, it means like, oh my gosh, you've been working so hard at doing all the things. It's okay to be tired. But sad is not okay. Angry is usually not okay.
I'd say resentful, jealous, all those ones are ones that we tend to stuff down because that's not, and especially as moms, I think. We're like, nope, I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to be the one holding everybody together. I don't have time to have these feelings.
The mom's mood the mom's mood affects the rest of the family's mood. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
And so I feel it's so much pressure on us because we're like, oh, we have to be happy else our whole family's going to be sad. Oh my gosh, forget that.
I know.
What?
It's not our job to to handle and to be in charge of everything.
No.
It really isn't. That's too much pressure for one person. And that's why it's so important to teach your kids these skills.
Yes, teach them. And of course, we're also going to address how to make sure that you are feeling regulated as well, because that's a huge, important thing. So that's what you have to look forward to in today's episode. And let's start the show. You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. Oh, so kids, when they are dysregulated, can be a very frustrating thing.
Oh my goodness, yes. Like we were talking before the show, we were like, all right, we need to come up with some examples of when our kids were recently dysregulated.
And dysregulation can appear to be like so many different like ways kids appear dysregulated. Like there's the obvious way in younger kids when they have tantrums or when they break down crying.
Right.
But there's also the not so obvious way, especially when kids get older, where they're just outright mean to you. And they discount everything you say. They basically tell you you're wrong all the time. And it's a never ending struggle. And it feels like your kid is just being rude. When my child's like this, my first instinct is to be like, I don't like it when you talk to me like that, which is totally okay to do. But when you're in the moment, you don't realize that there's something else going on underneath the surface.
Right. A lot of times this emotional dysregulation is something that they really, really need your help with. Mm-hmm. So we actually, like, as we're going to be talking about this today, we have 3 actionable tips of 3 different techniques that you can use to help your child when they're going through this, that is going to help strengthen your relationship with them and give them the life skills, start teaching them how to handle this, because nobody likes it when your emotions are kind of going every which way. And I mean, I just know that there are times when I get really, really upset and I can feel like I start lashing out, and inside, like the voice in my head is like, dude, stop it. Why are you acting like this? Like, why are you yelling at everybody? And you're trying to stop, but you just can't because you're so dysregulated.
Oh, yeah. I felt it just yesterday. We're packing to move, and I was trying to get some work stuff done as well. It was a Sunday. And so here I am, like, it's literally running back and forth to my computer. I'll like be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. And I'll like spend 30 minutes on my computer. And then I went back out to the hallway to like pack some things. And then my daughter... There was an incident this weekend where my daughter had a Subway sandwich in her backpack for the past 4 days.
Oh, gosh.
Because she goes to dance, and then on Wednesdays she stays there for her hour break, and there's a Subway right next to her dance. It's just she goes and gets Subway. Well, we were packing her room, and my dog Addie starts sniffing at her backpack in the corner. We're like, what are you doing, Addie? And I see the little Subway wrapper poking out, and I'm like, is there a sandwich in here? And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. I forgot about it. Like the guys thought I said 12-inch and I wanted a 6-inch. So I was going to save it and have it for my lunch. But it had been 5 days, Brie. It had been 5 days that this meatball grind, maybe it wasn't meatball. I bet it was turkey.
How did she not smell that?
I don't know. Addie smelt it. Anyways, me and my husband were both in there. We're like, you have food in here? And she's like, yeah. We're like, well, you probably should dispose of that one because Addie will get it. And we knew Addie was going to get it because also this weekend my parents were visiting and they brought a raspberry Danish to share on Easter morning. Okay. But they kept it in their guest room and they left the door open.
Oh, and that's just crazy talk.
Addie ate the entire raspberry Danish.
Yeah.
She found the whole thing, which like... My parents don't have a troublesome dog. They have no idea what she's capable of.
Wait, do your parents have a dog at all?
No, they don't have a dog.
Okay, they don't have a dog. That's it right there.
Yeah. So we knew that she finds food. So we told her, okay, like you need to get the sandwich out. And she kind of gives us a bit of attitude. Yeah, whatever. Like, I'll do it. Like, it's not a big deal. 2 hours later, Addie! Ah! Ah! And I hear this coming from her room. And she's like, Mom! And Addie had taken the entire Subway sandwich out of the bag. There was like pieces of like rotting lettuce all over her floor.
Oh my God, I'm gonna gag.
Because of it. And she looks at me, she's like, help me clean it up. And I'm like,
oh no.
Well, I'm a little upset here because I told you that you should probably get rid of this and you pushed back against me. And then I walked out of the room.
Yeah, like you're better than me. Like I said, my immediate response would have been, oh no.
Oh no.
Like, that doesn't help.
No. Well, I knew I was so mad.
But at least you kept it in your head.
And she was looking at it. She's like, I just can't do it. I can't touch it. I can't touch it. And I knew she was dysregulated. But I also knew that I was dysregulated.
Right.
And I was pissed that sandwich was still in the backpack. So I checked in with myself and I excused myself from the room. Mm-hmm. And I did not go and help. I just shut myself in my office. And at first, I felt really bad about it.
Yeah.
But then when I calmed down,
That mom guilt.
yeah, she was able to calm down too. And she did end up cleaning it herself and it was all okay.
Yeah.
But it's one of those instances where when you're talking about your kids being dysregulated and they start being snappy to you and then they start yelling at you, your first priority is checking in with yourself. Because if you are not in a place where you can parent logically and you're in control of your emotions, you can step out.
Right. No, that's exactly it. Because like, and we're going to talk more about that, but I think that is a huge thing because like when we're talking about like emotional dysregulation, in case you're out there going like, okay, what exactly is that? It's when you're having a difficulty being able to register with what you're feeling and or being able to respond to those emotions properly. And like you just said, if we flip our lid and we say, oh no, this is all your fault, you need to figure it out on your own, chances are that's not what we would want somebody to say back to us, right? And we are dysregulated at that moment. And if we can't be calm, we're just going to like be feeding into that fire. Think of it like just throwing like lighter fluid on that little spark they have going.
Because the biggest thing with like helping kids deal with emotional regulation is it's really not what you say, it's how you are. We'll be right back after a quick break. Here at No Guilt Mom, we talk about the constant sacrifice that mothers make, always doing stuff for others. I saw it growing up in my house where my mom was at the very last of her list. And when she finally did get the chance to rest, she collapsed. And I just want to make sure that you have a happy Mother's Day season. And there is a book called Long Live Moms, which is a reminder we all need that we must take care of ourselves too. So listen to this part. But wise are moms who pause, who see that caring starts with caring for me. A body strong, a breath drawn deep, a heart that beats, a soul to keep. The years move fast, yet love remains, a bond unbroken thread through veins. It is such a beautiful message. If you didn't know, Function Health is the all-in-one health platform that helps you take control of your health through data. So instead of guessing what's happening inside your body, Function helps you know for sure, providing access to 100+ advanced lab tests. Function Health is the best way to care for you so that you can continue to care for them. So download Long Live Moms for free today at functionhealth.com/no-guilt and learn more about Function Health can help you take better care of you. So get Function Health's Long Live Moms book for free at functionhealth.com/no-guilt. That's functionhealth.com/no-guilt.
This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Because the biggest thing with like helping kids deal with emotional regulation is it's really not what you say, it's how you are. So you need to be in a place where you can have like really relaxed body language and you can talk about things in a like warm, almost caring tone. Although with some of these things, it's still hard. But I knew I could not talk about it without putting a really heavy dose of sarcasm. And
exactly.
I mean, like, I told you so.
Right. Like, that's why I'm just saying like, okay, so for everybody out there in podcast land, like I love hearing this story because I know that in my situation, there was a 50-50 chance I would have brought a nice heavy dose of sarcasm. And then as soon as it came out of my mouth, I would have realized that it was a wrong thing to say and that it was just going to, again, lighter fluid, just making that flame go up. And you can't stop it at that point. You've already said it. and it's already caused issues. So like you did the right thing.
Yes. And then I do want to say something though about like if the sarcasm does come out, like all of our kids look at our interactions like an aggregate, like all together and not like one instance. So if the sarcasm comes out, as long as later you repair it with your child and you say like, hey, I was really upset about this and I said some things I should not have said. And I wish I would have taken a moment to myself. Like, that is great.
You're right.
Like all that matters is the repair.
No, you are 100% right, because that is something big that, because I have a little bit of a short fuse. I do.
Well,
a little bit of a short fuse.
I do too.
Yeah. So I do a lot of coming back to my kids, especially my daughter, because she's the one who, like me, has a short fuse. So things tend to make her upset, and they make her upset quickly. And honestly, like, and you've probably heard me say this before in the podcast, and you know this, Joanne, that my daughter is a mini me. Like, it's like two of us fighting to be in the same timeline at the same time. Like
two the same timeline.
The same person.
You're like Loki.
I've been watching a few of those, like, the comic book stuff lately.
Who's the variant?
Yeah. I don't know. We go back and forth. Like, I tell her I was here first, so she's the variant, but then she argues that she's better at it, so then I'm the variant. But anyways, yeah, that happens a lot with us. So these three, like, and this whole thing, this whole episode got kind of sparked by you're reading a book. And I saw a really cool TikTok video. And they both matched together, and we're like, we need to talk about this.
Yes. So the dysregulation, we have 3 options for you to do when your kids are giving you that attitude. Or maybe you have a younger kid who is just erupting in tears. Like that's my 8-year-old's, like that's where he goes all the time. He just shuts down. He starts rubbing his eyes where I know he's really upset about something. And he does excuse himself from the room now. That took some time, people.
Yes,
if you've listened to me for a while, you know that took some time.
But that's also, like, not only did that take some time, but that's also some fabulous life skills for a kiddo his age. Well, fabulous.
It's all about something called emotional co-regulation, which we learned more about when we had Mona Delahook on.
Yes.
And that's the book that I'm reading right now, Brain Body Parenting by Mona Delahook. But she also has another great one called Beyond Behaviors, which I also read. And that goes into our first option, which is when we see our kids like dysregulated, we want to acknowledge the situation.
Yes, and try to not acknowledge it with sarcasm.
Yeah, not acknowledge it with sarcasm. And what that means is that there is this whole school of thought out there where, like, you've heard the term self-regulation, and you want kids to improve their self-regulation. But we've seen self-regulation to be something like kids need to go off by themselves and improve their mood by themselves, which is not how it works. And that's the whole premise that timeouts were put on. Like, go think about this by yourself.
Right. Because if they had time to sit there and think about it, they'll be able to put themselves back on cue.
And
no.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. In fact,
especially for the young kids.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't know yet how to handle these things.
All they learn is that they need to not show their emotions.
Right. Because their emotions got them in trouble.
And their emotions are shameful. That's what they learn from timeouts, which is a hard thing to hear because I used to use timeouts with my daughter. And hearing like that now, I'm like, oh, crap.
Well, I mean, and that's part of, like, you know, just to kind of come back to that, like when you say that about being shameful about emotions, that makes me think about the shame monster we have in the SIB journal.
Yeah.
Like that's an important thing for kids to understand. And I think for a lot of us as adults, a lot of times, like, we don't think about the fact that we feel shameful about our emotions sometimes and letting them out. And like you said, if you have somebody that can help you co-regulate, like in my household, my husband does an amazing job of helping me co-regulate. And I don't know how I would be as well off if I didn't have that. And it's having it now, because I didn't have it the first half of my life, has made an amazing difference.
Yeah, you bring up a great point because we as adults need emotional co-regulation just as much as our kids do.
We don't realize it until we start getting it. And then we're like, what is this fantastic thing?
And I mean, like, describe a little bit what Miguel does to you.
So when I get upset, I tend to start talking really fast, and I can get kind of louder in my voice. I do tend to get louder a lot of times, but not all the time. He'll start speaking slowly. He'll make eye contact. He'll offer a hug. And a lot of times that hug helps me calm down. And it's not only the physical contact, because I'm one of those, I like that deep contact. So like I'm definitely one of those like sensory seekers. So it's not only that, but I can also feel his heartbeats, and it kind of helps bring me down too. And he does it on purpose. He'll say like, I hug you and I breathe slowly on purpose to kind of help calm you down, and then we can start talking.
He is like instinctually doing emotional co-regulation.
He's
probably doing it a little bit because he does work in the social work field.
Yes.
So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows what he's But yeah, it's that calm breath, that being. It's like the who he is, the bringing the calmness to the situation, the using the soothing voice, the using touch. And that is what our kids need sometimes when they are dysregulated. They need us there, either present beside them. I mean, we don't even have to fix the situation because, I mean, like Miguel probably doesn't try to fix your situation. He's just there as the calming presence.
Right. But, and like you're saying, like, so once they kind of get that calming presence, right, we can also then, especially for our kids, because I think our kids have to probably work on this more than we do as adults, but you know what? It could go either way. We can help talk to them about how they're feeling.
Yes.
Helping them, like, because sometimes they don't even know, right?
Yeah. And normalize their emotions. Like just last night, my daughter came to me and she's like, I don't want to move. Like, I like this house. I don't want to leave it. And typically what I would probably go to is be like, oh my gosh, there's going to be so many good things in our new house. And we have this and this and this. But when we think in terms of emotional co-regulation and acknowledge the situation, I responded instead. I pulled her close. I hugged her. I breathed deeply. And I'm like, I know you don't like, change is hard. Change is really hard. And just acknowledged it and made her feel like her feelings, like everyone, so many other people feel these feelings too, and they're okay.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about number 2. Acknowledge the situation, but say your kids are still kind of like, like I know one time when I was coming up to my child and they're like really tense still. Every time I touched them, it was kind of a jump back. And I asked, I'm like, hey, do you just need me to give you some space right now? And they're like, yeah. And that's the option. You can give them some space.
So that's kind of what you did with your story. Like your daughter, you were having an emotional response and you needed some space to kind of come back from that. And I just had that on Thursday night with my daughter. Yeah. She was downstairs. She was upset, having a lot of, I was getting a lot of hostility whenever I asked her anything, and a lot of that body language of like, I am not happy. And so I said to her, are you not in a good place right now? And she's like, I'm mad. I'm just mad. And I don't know why. And I go, okay. I love you, Mom, but I need some space right now, so I'm going to go head upstairs. And she stared at me for a minute, like with this, like, what are you doing?
We'll be right back after a quick break.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can even finish the bachelor's degree you started in 22 months for $20,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by pace, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
And she's like, I'm mad. I'm just mad, and I don't know why. And I go, okay. I love you, Mom, but I need some space right now, so I'm going to go head upstairs. And she stared at me for a minute, like with this, like, what are you doing? I'm suspicious of this witchcraft you're trying. And then I said it again to her, and she goes, really? I just go upstairs to my room, and I'm like, yeah, you can have your space. And she's like, okay. And she started to walk away, and then she looked at me, and she just went, love you, and then ran upstairs.
Space is sometimes all people need. Like, It's not one of those things where
the same thing will work for every person in every situation.
Right.
It's not black and white like that. It's very nuanced. It's very particular to the child. It's very particular to like where they are in that moment in time. And that's, I think, where a lot of people get hung up, because they come to us with a situation or a problem and they're like, okay, my kid is doing this. What do I do? And immediately our question is like, well, give us a little more information.
Right. There's not one size fixes all for every situation.
Mm-hmm. It's totally individual, but this is one of your options. You can give them some space. If you see that they're really not responding well to your touch, not responding well to any, like, I don't want to say suggestions, because when kids are mad, no suggestions go well at all. Like, none.
Well, think about it with us. Like, when I'm really mad, sometimes I just want to be mad. I want to be with my feelings to work through them. Allow me to be angry, and then I can work through them.
Yeah.
So,
but if they're not responding to anything, they may just need some space.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a great thing too, because it gives your child the ability to have that voice, to be able to say, nope, not right now. I need quiet. Because I think sometimes as our kids get older, they realize that some things trigger them and that they may say or do something that they'll regret later. So please stop pushing me to deal with it in the moment and just give me some time to breathe. And then I'll come back when I need it.
Yeah, my son actually had to scream in a pillow, go to another room and scream in a pillow for a good chunk of time there. Maybe like 6 months he was using that strategy.
But I think that's so good, because how many times have you been in a situation as an adult with another adult where there was an altercation? You know, whatever it was, you guys did not agree about something and they just kept beating the dead horse about it, like would not stop, or you guys just were both getting that whole like lighter fluid on the fire, and you just wish that one of you could have stepped away, or like you tried to step away and the other person wouldn't let you. I mean, this is a huge skill for people to be able to have, like to be able and to have that empowerment to be able to say, hey, I need some space right now.
Yeah, to know that it's okay. And giving your kids that permission now means that when they're adults, they know that that is an okay ask and that someone else is being unreasonable if they don't let them step away.
Yes, yes. Which leads us into our third technique that you can use to help your children with emotional dysregulation. Which one is this?
Distraction.
Distraction. Oh, like magic?
Yeah. Tell us about distraction.
Distraction. So distraction is like, so, you know, you're dealing with your kids. They're upset about something. And sometimes this is when they want to hear all the good things. Like, I'm upset about moving. They want to hear the distraction of all the awesome things that are going to be happening in the future. Or maybe it's one of those situations where they're just feeling really sad and they want to be distracted. And that's a big one that I use in my house too. It's like, oh, we're feeling sad about something. Does anybody want to go for a walk or go get some frozen yogurt? And that's distraction. It's shifting your attention from what is causing you to be upset and giving you something else to focus on. Now, I want to be clear about this. Distraction is not avoidance. It is a temporary solution, just like the giving you some space, right?
Yep, it's temporary solution.
You don't never talk to your kids again when they say they want space. You give them it for whatever period of time they need it. So distraction, you're going to distract until everybody is calmed down, and then you come back and approach it.
And also, a form of distraction could come in electronics and screen time and games.
Yeah.
Which I think we don't give kids enough chance to use in a distraction way. Like, a lot of people look at screen time and they're like, oh my gosh, this is an evil that needs to be monitored and put time limits on, and kids have too much screen time. But sometimes kids use screen time to decompress, especially after like a hard school day of just keeping it all together inside all day. Like my son likes to come and watch silly YouTube videos by Unspeakable or Mr. Beast. Have you heard of Mr. Beast?
No, well, I've heard you talk about him. I haven't seen him.
A recent Mr. Beast video was, I'm going to put 2 of my friends in this circle that I tape on the floor, and whoever gets out of the circle first loses, and the other one gets $1,000 for how many million views this video gets. I mean, this was the premise of the entire YouTube video.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But it's hilarious. It's like he does it in a fun way. But this is the videos my son likes to watch and unwind to. And so giving kids that time to use screen time as a temporary distraction, to calm down, to really be with their thoughts, or like just distract themselves from whatever they're feeling in the moment until they're ready to come back and deal with it.
And we're not saying that they should constantly be watching like screens all the time, but we're just saying like don't dismiss it because of screens. So like, and I'm going to throw this out to you. So to everybody out there in podcast land, have you ever had a bad day too yourself and you come home and you're like, you know what? I'm in a grumpy mood. I want to watch something funny. I'd want to watch something funny to get me into a happy mood. I really hope there's a lot of hands going up right now or head shaking. And that's the exact same thing. You're using something to distract you from where you're at now until you can get to that normal level of emotional regulation.
Yeah.
And then you can deal with it. Then you can process all the things.
Yeah. I mean, if you follow No Guilt Mom, anytime I start posting funny dog videos on my stories, that's exactly what's going on. I'm like, need to find the funny animal videos.
And that is my favorite happy thing to do whenever I'm in a bad grumpy mood. I'm like, I need to go watch funny dog videos.
The dog videos are hilarious.
Right. And you got to remember, like, the thing that distraction teaches us is that we don't have to dwell and be stuck in the spiral of the difficult emotions. We can work our way out of it and then address it. When we're in that spot where we're able to think more clearly and to have more, I don't know, responsible or not responsible.
Logical, reasonable.
Yes.
Logical.
Yes.
I would say logical.
So let's recap because we're wrapping up here at the end. What are the 3 techniques that we can use?
We have acknowledge the situation, give your kids some space, or use some distraction.
Yeah, all of those are going to be able to help you no matter how old your child is. This works for all ages to help them with their emotional dysregulation. And you know what? Not even your child. Works for you too.
Yes, it works for you too.
Great skills.
Remember,
to use.
it's important to check in with yourself first before you use any of these because you are really the most important. And the more time and energy you invest in yourself, the better it's going to be for your entire family. So,
for sure.
Because remember, the best mom is a happy mom. So take care of you, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.